Hey, what's up everybody? NFX here with another tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to get a sound out of a song that you might want to use. I see this question somewhat often on online on Reddit specifically in various groups. One of the questions that came in today that I saw, which sparked me to make this, is someone had asked how to get the bass sound out of uh, a Denzel Curry song called In the Paint. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up on the screen. I'm not going to play it because I don't want to get any kind of a copyright strike. So you could see it there on the screen, and then you can go listen to the whole thing on its own to really understand what it sounds like. Okay, but in the case of uh, grabbing the sound, the question was how to get the bass sound out of it. Okay, now some of you already know how to do this. This is definitely not anything groundbreaking, but for those of you who don't know how to do it, I'm going to show you. So this is one way of doing it. There's always multiple ways of accomplishing things in FL Studio, and this is probably one of the easier ways of doing it. So one of the things I've done is I've acquired the stems, and the way you would do that is you would obviously get the track, put it through a stem separation. There's one built into FL Studio. Um, there's also one called Stem Roller. Pro tip, if you don't have Stem Roller, get it. You can actually uh, put the search in here. Let's say I go back to this video. I'm going to grab the title of this video and copy it, and then we'll go into Stem Roller and paste it in there, and it'll actually go in and look for it, and then you could pick the one you want and say you want to do something with it. Now I've already split it, so I have the stems done already. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the bass line and the drum line into my FL Studio. And the reason why I'm copying them both is because I wanted to point something out. When you're talking about getting bass sounds, sometimes you've got to understand there's going to be something going on, right? And what I want to do is I'm going to just play a little piece from here, just so you can hear the drums and the bass together. Let me turn it down a bit. Okay, so that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish, is getting that bass. Now one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this kick drum with a line. I'm dragging them both together. I'm going to line up this kick drum so that it starts near a line like that. Then I'm going to use my cutting tool to cut it. Now what that's doing is it's allowing me to use the kick as an indicator as to where the beat starts, and then I'll use this other kick over here to indicate where to cut it. So now I have potentially isolated a kick and the one bass sound there. Let me just bring them to the beginning, and I'll just hit play so you can hear them together. Okay. Now the reason why I brought the kick over is because I wanted to point out to you guys, if you look at the bass and the kick, you'll notice that the kick looks like a standard kick in that it hits hard and then decays. But the bass seems like it starts low and builds. And really what you're seeing there, the original bass sound probably had a nice strong transient at the beginning, but what happened is the side chaining of the kick caused it to lower so that the kick would sound clean, and then as it faded out, the bass line or the bass sound fades in. Okay, so that's what we're seeing, that effect here. If you wanted to correct that, you might want to use a transient shaper, or you might want to go in and manually amplify this bit of the sound. I'm going to leave it as is because by itself, the bass sounds like this, and it's good enough, right, for my purposes to demo it. But it definitely sounds better when it's got the bass, when it's got the kick drum. It's definitely got more punch, no pun intended. But so that's what we're working with. Now, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a unique sample, just so I can work with just that piece. We'll hit save. We'll make this one just for the sake of being able to use it isolated like that. We'll make that one a unique sample also. And now we have these two parts to work with. I'm going to go ahead and delete the old samples just so I don't get confused. And there we have them. And at this point, I could use it, but we want to go a step further. When I go into the sample for that bass, I could obviously, at this point, I could play it with the keyboard. No problem, right? But it's not really in tune. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that it's in tune so that when I play a C on my keyboard, it plays a C note on this bass, right? So what I'll do is I'll right click and I'll go into pitch corrector. And what that's going to do is it's going to show me what note that is. And just by looking at the keyboard here on the side, I can tell you that that note is a D sharp. Okay. Now, the underlying notes in the work area here do not line up. The black sections do not line up with the keys, and that's just because it's in a different key. If you go to the scissor down to scale and set it to C major, these lines will line up with the keyboard, just in case you were wondering why that happened. And by looking at it here, it's very obvious how much lower the starting point of this sample is, but we're not going to worry about that. That might be something for another video. But now I know that this is tuned to a D sharp. So what I can do now is I can go into my original sample here, go to the wrench icon, and then find, you can see here it's on C5, but what I'll do is I'll right click on D sharp, and that will retune it so that now when I play a D sharp on my MIDI, you hear the original sample at D sharp. But if I play a C or an F, it plays a C and an F of that sample. So it's nice and in tune. Another thing I'll probably do is have it cut itself, just so if I play a few notes in a row, it cuts itself off appropriately. And maybe the last thing I would do here is I would probably take the out and make it so it fades out. This note happens to be long enough to where I think it sounds okay doing that. Okay. And now I can actually play this and put it in a piano roll and have it play something. And just to demo, we're gonna do that real quick. I'll go to here, and we're in pattern 1, so I'll go to the piano roll, and we'll just basically, let's click in a few things. We'll go click that. Maybe there, maybe there, and we'll do this. And then I'm going to put the kick drum right there and right there. Don't know what it's going to sound like, but you'll hear now we can use it in a tuned fashion. Okay. And that's how you would grab a sound out of a song that you like, maybe you want to use. By the way, you saw I was also able to grab a nice kick sound out of that too. So it can be used for drums, it can be used for, certain bass sounds, it can be used for isolations of different maybe sound effects and a bunch of other things. So there you go. There's your tutorial for the day. I hope you enjoy it. Uh, do the usual like and subscribe if you like what you saw. And if you have any suggestions for me, please, please leave them in the comments. I will try to help whoever I can with whatever I can if I know how to do it. So have a good one, you guys.